Hey guys, so welcome back to another video on Black Hat Code tutorial series, and in this video we're gonna build a very simple and effective remote shell tool. So what I mean is if you run this script on your target machine, you will be able to access it remotely. So without any further ado, let's build this simple script with very few lines of code. So I'm making a directory here, let's say R shell, R for remote shell. We'll cd inside it. Here I will open my VS Code. So like previous video, I'm going to build a main method. I'll write the steps first, and then I'm going to define a function called handle connection. So that handle connection will be responsible for executing the command sent from the user who is trying to execute those commands remotely. So here I'm going to build, let's say r shell.go file, and let me start by writing package main, then our main function. So first let me write the steps. Step 1 will be to uh, create a listener for incoming connection. So first we will listen on a specific port for a connection from the hacker or whoever that person is. Then in the second step, what we are going to do, we are going to handle that connection in a handle func, and that handle func will be responsible for taking the commands from that connection and executing it locally. So I have broken this main function into two steps. So let's implement the first step. Like usual code, like what I've been doing in the previous videos, I'll create a simple listener using net package, net.listen, and here the protocol will be TCP. So the first thing is the network. Okay, so the network must be TCP, TCP for anything, whatever you decide. So I'm going to set TCP, and the port on which I'm going to listen, let's say 20089. Any random port you can choose, except the ephemeral ports, which are between 0 to 1024. Now, not in this here. So if error not equal to nil, then I'm going to simply log fatal and say, or I'll simply print the error. So once this is done, let's handle that connection. So first I'm going to listen, first I'm going to accept an incoming connection using the accept call on the listener object. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say listener dot accept method, so it will return a connection object. And let's do the error handling first. Same thing I'm going to write here as well, log dot, I'll simply print the error. Now this is done, I'll pass that a connection object in a Go routine called handle jn. So I haven't created this handle function yet, so I'm going to create it outside main. So let's define our handle function. So this handle function will accept an argument of type net.connection, and what this is going to do is first first step will be to okay, so the first step will be to create a command object. So this command object will get from a standard package called exec, which will help you to exec system commands on your computer. So we will create a command object using the exec package, and the second step will be to create a pipe object. So if you know what are pipes in command shell, let me quickly show you what I mean by pipes. So if you ever used a command line in Linux, you might be familiar with pipes. So here this vertical line is a pipe. So what this pipe symbol does is it takes the input from the first command, the one before it, and serves as an input to the second command, which will be written after this pipe symbol. So let's say, so here I'm saying echo Linux is cool. So this, the output of the first command will be Linux is cool. So on that output, I'm going to do. So this output will serve as an input for this next command grep. And from this grep command, I'm going to say grep the word cool. So here you see. So this is how pipes work in command shell. The similar construct we have in Golang as well through a package called IO package. So we can create pipes here as well in the Golang. And the third thing we are going to do, we are going to set standard input and standard output for command. So here we are creating a command object, right? So we need to set standard input and standard output for this command object, so that whenever we are running a command, we are saying that please send the output of this command to this standard output and take the input from the standard input. So that we are going to set. So here just uh, I'm telling you in advance, the standard input will be the a connection object which we are passing here. So we'll take the input to run the commands from the connection object, and standard output will be WP object which will create from this IO package. So this is write process. So we are creating a pipe here. So we are saying that please mm, send the output to this write process of pipe. Okay, so you will get it when I write the code. Then the fourth step is to copy the result from a read process. So there will be there will be two parts of this pipe object which we are creating here. One will be the reader process and one will be the writer process. Remember the last command which I executed on the command shell, this thing. So we have two processes. So this is the writer process and this is the reader process. So similar thing we have here, writer process, reader process. So this pipe object will give us two process objects. So we can say that copy the result from reader process to the connection object. And we can use our old io.copy method, which we have used in previous videos, and then we'll be done. So we need to implement this four step. So let's do it one by one. So, let's say command object I'm going to create. I'm going to use the exec package, and I'm going to say command. See here, so the first thing is the name and then the argument. So if you are using Windows, you're going to say cmd.exe like this. So I'm on a Linux environment, so I'm going to say bin/bash, and the argument I'm going to pass will be I. I is for interactive mode. So this is done. Command object is created. Now let's turn to second thing. So here we'll need two process objects, read process, write process, and we are going to get it from io.pipe. So this is also done. Now we are going to set the standard in and standard out of the command object. So this command will have standard input object which we are going to set to connection, which means please read the commands to execute from this connection object, because these both objects implement reader and writer methods. So that's why we can set it. So here the interfaces which we have learned earlier are coming into the picture. So the next thing is standard out. We are going to set this to writer process of the pipe which we created here. So this is done. Now the fourth step is to copy the result from reader process to the connection using the IO. So we are going to do IO dot copy. And so why we are running with this in a separate Go routine, because we want to asynchronously copy the results back to the connection, so that this doesn't block, this handle method doesn't blocks, and this keeps on executing our commands. So at the end we are going to say command dot run. So this is going to run this command with standard input and standard output set. And at the end, when we are done, we will say connection dot close. And yeah, we are done. So our remote shell uh, s- tool is done. So let me quickly execute it. So I'm going to create two shells here. So in the first shell, I'm going to run my script, not script, our program. So this is not Python, so these are not scripts. So let me go to png slash r shell. I'm going to say go run R shell. So now I'm executing this R shell. Imagine that this is executing on our a victim machine or a remote machine, some remote machine, and this is the hacker or the user which wants to connect to this remote machine. So what we can do netcat or telnet. Let's use telnet this time. We'll say the host which we want to connect and the port. Sorry, I forgot the port number. So it is 20089. So 20089. So now we are connected. So let's execute some commands. Let's say who am I? See here, the command is executed remotely and we got the result here, Shreyast. And what I can do ls etc, uh, not etc, we'll say cat etc password. See, we got the beautiful. So with just few lines of code, around 43 lines of code, we were able to implement a very basic remote shell tool for the target machine. So this shows the power of Golang and its standard packages. And how do I know all these things? So this comes with experience, or say reading books around these topics, or reading the online documentation. So guys, if you know these packages well, you can do many more things which I'm showing you in these videos. So take this as a starting point, explore other things what you can do, read the documentation online, and the world is your oyster. You can do many, many, many more things. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more such videos like this in the future. Until then, bye bye.